Hello everybody. This is AManDeep signing in live from my home studio right now. And if you are joining us today for this live session where I'm going to talk about health, which is the biggest wealth right now, I'm sure you're aware of it, what's going on. And if you have the health right now, the perfect health to function, to do the work you want to do, and you have a lot of energy, then you are on the right track. That's what I'm going to talk about. So when you understand, the body is made of 5 elements, and if you can take care of that 5 elements in the right balance, as it is meant to be, you can have a much better health. Now, this is something I share, in a lot of depth at Discover Your Brilliance program, which is our 3 days holistic training. And we do a complete chunk, on the 3rd day, pretty much around the midday, where we go in depth about explaining this. Now, very quickly, how do I, give you within 20 minutes what I know about health? Understand that most of your problems arise from your gut, the colon system you have. By the way, your colon system, your digestive system, whatever you want to call it right now here, which is obviously, here in your inside your tummy. It's roughly 9 minutes, in length compared to your height. Let's say if your height is 1.5 meters, multiply that by 9. That's the, length of your digestive system. And anything you eat, has to go through that, let's say, 12, 13, 14 meters of journey before it can come out. And most diseases, more sickness from a physical aspect happens to you when your gut is kind of messed up, which means, you got things sticking up on your gut system. And depending on which point that, that thing is sticking up, you have, those ailments or sicknesses or diseases. I've been asked this question many times, that how do you, maintain such high energy of speaking for 12, 14 hours, and you can go on for 4 or 5 days. My students who come to my programs like Discover Your Brilliance, Public Speaking Mastery, Sales Mastery, which are weekend programs, long weekend programs. They last for 3 to 4 days. I start, anytime like in the morning, 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, and I go up to almost 9, 10 in the night. It's like 12 hours on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they want to know, how do you maintain that level of energy, even, almost like it is late evening or almost like, night. So coming back, it's from the technique I have learned from Dr. Chauhan and, beautiful friend of mine, Jamil. So how do I take care of my gut, AManDeep? You got to understand the food you're eating is creating all the problems for you. For most people, you have to understand cooked food doesn't have almost any nutrients in it. Almost, okay? Almost 90% of the nutrients die if you put something on fire above, let's say, 50 degrees temperature. If anything is cooked beyond 50 degrees centigrade, or 48, 49, whatever, there are different scales to it. What happens, the nutrients inside them, they die. And if you eat that, dead kind of meat or food or mass, it is not really serving you. And especially for people, if you eat a lot of processed food, by the way, I do as well. I do have fun in my life. It's not that, I'm this whole green guy, which I was known for in my office many years back. I had a label, where I was called a green guy because I would only eat vegetables like organic and only have one dinner meal, in the night, which they won't see because in the office, I won't pretty much eat anything. I will stay on lemon and honey water from around midday. So I will fast till, almost 6 hours from the time I wake up. And then I will go on to have lemon and honey water. And then, I will have some fruits while they would have lunch around 2 o'clock. So I was known as this guy, the green guy in the office. And I became, I'll be honest, quite unsocial because I couldn't socialize with people for a while. And then I had to give up and find a balance, not go completely extreme organic. So I found a balance. So coming back very quickly in a non-linear fashion, if you have heard that you have to have breakfast like a king, that is all completely wrong. And again, don't take my words. You do your research. You apply the mechanism I'm sharing in your body and let me, then come to a conclusion. What worst case, it'll be just an experience. That's it. But I can guarantee from my experience, if you give up your breakfast pretty much, if you can, or, if you can switch away from having processed parathas or, cooked meal, whatever in the morning, to having at least, wholesome organic fruits or juices, it will give you much more energy. This is a natural tendency of the body. Understand, and go back to the basics, go back to the nature. When you have a heavy meal, your body's topmost priority is to break the complex food and simplify it for you. That's the topmost priority for the body. So people are saying, are you telling me, AManDeep, all these things I've learned so far that if I can't have a heavy meal and go to sleep because I will gain weight? Oh God, no, you won't. in one context, okay? Which doesn't mean that you can have heavy 3 meals and keep sleeping and you won't gain weight. But from a context of saying, if you had a nice meal and you're feeling sleepy, you can go to sleep. It will not affect your weight. It will not affect your body. Rather, it's good to do that, provided, you're following the other pieces of the puzzle, which I'm sharing very quickly. So coming back, if you can, or you must in a way in the long run, and depending on your age, place where you have lived and your body, this all would, come into the picture. If you don't have great health, oh God, you must be struggling massively, even if you have all the money in the bank account. So very quickly, the ideal system says, give up breakfast. If you cannot, obviously in the beginning, it's very difficult. And that's how, a belief is. You cannot break a rope in one go. You have to break a thread at a time. Okay. The system suggests that if you can do ideally minimum 6 hours of fast from the time you wake up, and again, it depends, what time you had your dinner. I hope, for most of you here, you have your dinner by 8, 9 o'clock. So let's say if you wake up at 6 and you keep 6 hours of fast, that is like midday, you had your dinner at 9 in the night. So 9 to 9, it's like 12 hours plus another 3 hours. That's like 13 hours. Ideally, it'll be great to have a 14 hours of gap, which, now in the technical, soundbite world, people are calling it as intermittent fast, which is great, for you to understand that way. Understand, the fasting has been one of the biggest secrets, or one of the biggest, gift which Vedas has given us. It comes from Ramcharitamanas. It says, fasting is the ultimate medicine. If you ever feel sick in whatever ways, you can just give up food and it'll heal you. Food actually creates problem for you. The food which we modern human beings eat, not the organic, natural fast food of the nature. By the way, the whole meaning of fast food has been changed. Fast food is not what you get in McDonald's and KFC. Fast food is, which you can plug out of a tree, like an apple or a banana or any fruit, and you can just eat straight away, or probably wash it, but you don't need to wait for hours or cook it or something. You just plug it from the nature, wash it and eat. That's called fast food. That's the real fast food, which was known to mankind until, this whole marketing campaign started probably 50 years, 40 years back. And we started getting, hooked up to these, drive and take away McDonald's and KFCs, which I do enjoy, sometimes because my daughter loves it. Once in a while we go there, we have a cheat day. I'm not saying, give up your life, give up your wife. All I'm saying, you got to find a balance there. And I hope I'm making sense to you, but what I'm sharing for some people, it'll be completely opposite to what you've heard. Have breakfast like a king? No, completely wrong. Give up breakfast, and that's the air element, you are having, because your body is made of ether, by the way. That's the sky element, if you call it. And without you having any food or water or nothing to, it's called nirjala, by the way, in our language, in Sanskrit or Hindi. Nirjala means, you're not putting anything from your mouth. If you keep your, gut free for like 14 hours minimum, if you can go up to 15, 16, it'll be great. But minimum 14 hours, what it will do, it'll help the body to kind of, break down all your complex food you had in the night, like your rotis and your curries, or pizzas or burgers, pastas. It takes a while, for the body to break that food down. And by the way, I will talk about certain foods which are very heavy for your body to digest. So you should have almost none of it or very less of it, because, it's taste buds, by the way. Pasta, oh God. White bread, oh God, stay away, okay? all the 7-Ups and Campa Colas, whatnot, fizzy drinks, oh God, stay away, okay? Any heavy sugary, donuts and stuff like that. If you have it on a regular basis, for God's sake, please stay away as much as you can. If you go for a party, if there's a birthday thing happening, that's a different ball game. But if you're eating regularly donuts and heavy Indian sweets like barfi, rasagullas on a regular basis, I love them, by the way. I do my best to have minimum as much as I can. So cut down as much as you can. Very quickly, lunchtime, as because you did not have breakfast, some people think, you've got a license to eat as much as you can. Oh God, no. You are messing up your body by doing that. Because your engine is kind of almost like sleeping. Like, how your laptop sleeps after a few minutes if you don't use it, and you see this, screen saver screen going on. So, your body is kind of sleeping right now. You cannot just put like heavy stuff straight away because you have done 14 hours of fast. That's where people go wrong, saying, I have done intermittent fasting and I can eat anything right now. Oh God, pasta and ketchup and God knows what. No. Your body is sleeping. You got to slowly bring it up. So you got to have maybe fruits, natural squeezed juice, not the box juices. Anything, which has got a life beyond its natural life, it's not healthy, period. You can give debate on this, okay? I can only say, probably some are less harmful than the other ones, depending that they were squeezed in the morning and in the evening you're having them. Maybe it is still like less damage, less harmful, but the juice is the best when it's squeezed out and you can have it within a few minutes. That's the best juice you would ever have. And drinking juice, it gives you all the nutrients you require straight away, in your body, absorbed quickly without doing all the work of chewing and breaking down the complex food. So it's a great thing to have juice. It's a smart hack I have in my life, not to feel too much hungry. By the way, food, the modern food, is an addiction. That's correct. I do have it too, so I'm not going to deny the fact that I don't enjoy certain, flavors and fragrance and aromas of food and get hooked up and eat them sometimes. Well, I haven't given them up completely, so I cannot, vouch for the fact that you can give up completely. But I can tell you that most days in my life, I'm on 1.5 meal. That's correct. You heard me right. On a rare occasion, it will be 2 meals. And I'm so proud that in our house, we don't have the gas oven going on at least till 4 o'clock or 5 p.m. or sometimes 3 p.m. We don't cook anything, We only start cooking for dinner, which is late evening. So most days we skip breakfast. We have hunza tea around midday, which is another herbal tea we have. And then we go on to munch on a bit of a salad, bit of a fruit. And that's how we spend our whole daylight pretty much. And when it starts getting dark, we go on to have dinner. So lunch lighter as much as possible, okay? Juices will be great, organic fruits, anything vegetable you can chew. If you cannot do obviously all of a sudden straight away because it's difficult, you've got 13 years of conditioning, it'll take you 30 months minimum to overcome that conditioning. That's correct. I have been in 1.5 meal or 2 meals for, almost 10 years now in my life. And then dinner, right? When you come to the dinner part, this is not one of those excuses saying, AManDeep, I did not have any breakfast. I only had a light lunch, with 2 bananas and, 2 apples and a bit of a juice. It doesn't give you license, to have like 3 meals together at dinner time. God, this is my sarcasm, guys. My students know this. I'm sarcastic. That's the way I am. Dinner has to be your normal dinner. You can have a little bit, more than what normally you eat for a dinner. It could be like 1.25 at the topmost. And to, satisfy your hunger, if you're having something like, it's an addiction. Your brain is going and sending signals, is going, you need food. You don't need food. The real food is you already had maybe, the juices and the fruits, but it is, asking for that addiction. So you could have a lot of salad, okay, to munch on. And you could have just your regular dinner or a little bit more than a regular dinner. That's it. And if you have your dinner, let's say 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, it's great. I love to, have my dinner early, 7:30 before 8, because I am hungry. It's not that I do the system, I don't feel it, I do. Now, right now, I just had a celery juice. I had a hunza tea around midday. And I had some papaya around 2 o'clock and some nuts. Oh God, that's all good. So I will be having my dinner around 7:30, 8 o'clock. So this is the system, by the way, we'll explain you in a lot of depth and we will give you, the reasons and the priorities of the food and stuff like that, one step by step. So coming back, why this system? Because your gut is kind of messed up for most people, and all sicknesses and diseases, they come out from your colon. If your colon can be kept clean and empty and, no toxin or shit, whatever you call it, sitting on it, malba, we call it in our language, okay, then you are going to have a very healthy lifestyle, a healthy body, a lot of energy. Age would not define you, by the way. You can stay, pretty healthy and young looking person, even at the age of 50, 55, 60, 65. Oh, I hope you've seen some of the videos, on YouTube or somewhere. This, let's say, 80-year-old lady, she looks like 55. Why? She has been on complete organic food. And very quickly, to give you more understanding, the earth is also struggling right now. The Mother Earth has got almost 35% of nutrients been taken out of it because of all the fertilizers, pesticides, and whatnot shot, we have done for the genetically modified stuff. Oh God, we have been messing up. Yes, we all are responsible for this equally. So 65% nutrients are there, but 35% is pretty much gone. And so whatever the fruits or the vegetables, they pick up the nutrients, they pick up from the Mother Earth. And then on top of that, we cook it I'm sorry, I'm an Indian, but for most Indian foods, oh God, they're very tasty because we fry them, we put them in oil, and we kill pretty much most of the nutrients inside them. It's good for the taste buds, but it's not good for the body. And if you eat processed food, your brain doesn't get the signal, that it's filled up. Though physically you're filled up, but because there's no nutrients which the body is looking for, when it's hungry, you give it like dead meat or dead mass, the body is not able to send the signal up in the brain saying you are full. And that's why a lot of people eat too much. On a rare occasion I do that too. Okay, so I'm sorry, I've been going on sharing this very quickly. I have a few things in my top of my head. There's one more thing, called an enema kit, which you must have to, it's not a natural way, but it's a great way to cleanse yourself when you detox. You must detox, by the way, at least minimum once or twice a year, which is like, you go off any solid food for a few days, 5 to 7 days, 10 days would be great. And there are many other things I would like to share, but this is my quick sharing. Keep your gut clean, eat as much organic and natural food. When I say organic, I don't mean, expensive organic fruits. You can eat normal fruits, but I mean natural raw fruits. You have 3 meals, even if you can do 2.5, that's great. Even if you can do 2.75, it'll be amazing to start with. And that's how you bring in a new system in your life. Brain knows that it cannot, let's say, fly, whatever. And if you aim for too high and your brain already knows that you never would reach there, you will give up your efforts. That's the way, our brain is designed. So you have to give, small chunks and break it down. Just like, how you give up, let's say, smoking or drinking. If you're a chain smoker, I don't know, for most people, it's very difficult to give up smoking just like that. Most people, okay? You got to reduce the frequency and then gradually give it up, slowly, gradually. So those were, my little thoughts about health and for whatever I have understood in my life and how did I manage, to have that much of energy level while I was speaking on stages. Well, I've shared some of it very quickly. It's fasting. It's about the food you eat. The more raw you can eat rather than cooked food, it'll be good. And if you can clean up your gut and keep it, as much breathing, that'll be a good thing to do. Pizzas, oh God, the cheese which sticks to the pizza, if it falls on your table somewhere, it sticks there for a good amount of time, and it takes an effort, to bring it out. And the same cheese, goes inside your body. I just imagine what the body goes through to clean that, cheese out of your gut system. By the way, very quickly, I haven't covered this today, and again, they're like, dairy is not good for you. Yeah, seriously. No other animal, drinks other animals' milk except for childhood. That's a whole different state because you have the ability to to digest lactose. 75% people are lactose intolerant. I am one of them. I didn't realize for many years. I would go into a sweet shop when I was in my, let's say, mid-20s. I was working in Delhi in a call center during the weekends. I would go into the street shop and I will order half a kg of proper sweet milk cake. For those Indians, you would understand, and literally eat half a kg of milk cake. And I am facing the challenges now when I'm 20 years after that stage of life, almost 43 years old, and I'm glad I know all this now. For the last 10 years, I wish I have known it before. I could have done better. Having said that, you're never late to start. So please, guys, do your research about dairy. There is a book, if I am not wrong, Mucus-less life or mucus-free life. I can't remember the guy's name, something called Professional Arnold. You must read about how mucus gets created in your body because you put too much acidic food in it. And, to comprehend or, to combat that acidic nature of your body builds up a lot of mucus in your system to tackle that. And yeah, I can go more deeper and deeper, but understand mucus is very bad for your body. And that a lot of the mucus that comes from your acidic dairy consumption. Anything to do with dairy is very bad for health. Yeah, I love ice creams, I know. You can get vegan ice creams, which are non-dairy, okay? And they may not be equally as in taste, but they come very close to the normal ice cream taste. So that's all I have to cover, guys. Anything, any questions, any feedback, any sharings, let me know.